George Kambosos Jr. He did it, man. George did it. He defeated Lee Selby in the undercard of Usyk versus Chisora over in the UK by split decision. Split decision. Two judges had it in favor of George Kambosos, 118, 110, 116, 112, and one judge had it in favor of Lee Selby, 115, 114. Man, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. Honestly, I thought the judges were gonna give it to Lee Selby. That's what I thought. I thought the judges were gonna give it to Lee Selby. A lot of back and forth action in this one. First half, Lee Selby mostly won more of the first half, and the second half, I thought George Kambosos won more of the second half. But there were a lot of close rounds. I think I had it 8-4, if I remember correctly. 7-5, 8-4. But it was close. It was close. I don't know how one judge only gave 2 rounds to Lee Selby. I don't know about that. I think he was a little too generous there for George Kambosos, but it was a close one. It was a close one. Fights available on the Zone. Just go to the Zone. You can watch it. The Zone posted up highlights of it here on YouTube. You can go watch it yourself. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people thought that it was a robbery. I noticed that a lot of people thought that this fight, that Lee Selby should have won this fight. I don't know about that. I thought the George was pressing the fight. He was pressuring. His work rate was there. I thought he won more of the closer rounds. Maybe I'm a little biased because if you follow me, you know that I was rooting for George. I was hoping George would win, and I really wanted him to win. So I'm a little biased when it comes to that. But I thought George did more to win this fight in a close one. I honestly won't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't mind a draw, but at the same time, if you had to pick somebody to win this one, definitely George Kambosos. Did I say George Groves earlier? Just wondering. Because I felt like I probably said George Groves. I don't know. It's early, man. I just came home from work. Anyway, George Kambosos, he remains undefeated. He improves to 19 wins, 0 losses, 10 wins come by way of knockout TKO. With this win, he solidifies himself as the mandatory challenger for Teofimo Lopez, who holds the IBF title. Not only the IBF title, as well as the WBO and WBA and WBC titles. Teofimo Lopez holds all the belts. He's the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. George Kambosos and Lee Selby fought for the mandatory status. And George pulled it off, man. George pulled it off. He pulled it off. Lee Selby suffers his 3rd loss in his pro career. It's not bad. I thought he did a pretty good job, but at the same time, it wasn't his night. And the only times he's lost, well, at least the 2 recent ones, they were by split decision. The other one was way back early in his career, back in 2009. But in recent times, at 126, Josh Warrington was a close fight, and George Kambosos at 135 is a close fight. Lee Selby is a very good fighter. He really is. He's a very good boxer from Wales. It's just that his fight against George Kambosos wasn't his night. At least that's the way I look at it. I honestly thought George did do more to win the fight, though. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world for Lee Selby. I'm sure he can rebound from this. I mean, he could easily fight any of these guys at lightweight, and he could get paid decent money. Hell, a fight against Luke Campbell would be a big fight over in the UK. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Let's say Luke Campbell loses to Ryan Garcia, and let's say Lee Selby and Luke Campbell fight each other in the UK. I think that would make decent money and attraction. At least I think so. So yeah, there's definitely still options out there for Lee Selby. It's not the end of the world. George Kambosos called out Teofimo Lopez after the fight, saying that they should go fight in Down Under in Australia. I don't know about that. I mean, it would be pretty cool if Teofimo goes to Australia and fights George, but we all know Teofimo ain't going there. But definitely a fight between George and Teofimo is definitely a fight I would love to see. I hope we get to see it. Do I think it will happen? Honestly, I don't think so. I think Teofimo will move on to bigger fights, more money fights, than fighting George, just because George is not that well known over here in the States, you know, and he's still has yet. He did fight over here in the States when he fought Mickey Bay. Um, what event was that actually? Let's see. What event was that? I can't remember what fight that was, or what was the main event. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, he fought in the actually he fought in the undercard of uh Terence Crawford versus Egidijus Cavaliaskas. Teofimo Lopez also fought in that card against Richard Comey. So he fought in that same card. But at the same time, George still has to make a name for himself here in the States. So for him to have any leverage of wanting this fight in Australia, chances are it's not happening. It's not happening. But anyway, great stuff from Mr. George Kambosos. Congrats on the win. Sucks for Lee Selby, but it is what it is. If you saw the fight. Oh, and I gotta say one thing, man. George, he still has a lot more to learn. You know, he's a very aggressive fighter. You know, he picks his shots pretty well. Um, he claims that he's pretty strong, but honestly, I don't know how he's not that strong compared to Teofimo Lopez. I'll say that much. But George is a solid contender, and definitely a future world champion. One day, maybe not against Teofimo Lopez, but one of these days he will be a world champion. Anyway, if you saw the fight, let me know what did you think about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't yet. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Please, and like always, have a great day. Alright, thanks.